The great chamber floated in space like a crystal flower. Inside, beings from 100 worlds gathered in worried silence. Ambassador stood at the center, his crystalline body catching the light from the twin stars outside. His voice cracked with desperation. "Please," he said, "my people are dying, they show no mercy. They burn our cities, they take our children. We have only weeks left." The council members shifted uncomfortably. They were politicians, not warriors. War was something their species had abandoned thousands of years ago. Fighting meant injury. Injury meant pain. Pain was unacceptable. A large ambassador from the water world spoke first. "We sympathize with your situation, but military action requires resources we cannot spare." "We could lose ships," added another voice from the shadows. "We could lose lives." In's body dimmed with sadness. "So you will let us die?" "We did not say that," the ambassador replied. "But conventional warfare is not an option. Perhaps negotiation." "The do not negotiate," In's voice rose. "They conquer, they destroy. If you will not fight, then what hope do we have?" Silence fell over the chamber. Every species present knew the truth. They were soft. They lived in comfort. Their worlds were gentle. Their bodies were fragile. War belonged to the ancient past, to the dark times before civilization. A junior technician entered the chamber, holding a data pad. She approached the council leader and whispered something. The leader's eyes widened. "Members of the council," the leader said, "we may have received a signal from a new world." "Another species?" someone asked. "Where?" "The Outer Rim, Sector 7, a world we flagged as Category 9 hazard." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Category 9 meant a planet so dangerous that survey teams refused to land. Worlds with crushing gravity, toxic atmospheres, or deadly predators. "Surely you are not suggesting," began the ambassador. "Desperate times," the council leader interrupted. "We detected radio signals, mathematics, music. They have technology, they have intelligence." "They also have a world that would kill most of us in hours," another member said. "What kind of beings could survive such a place?" In stepped forward. "What kind? Perhaps the kind who could fight." The council fell silent again. It was forbidden to contact Category 9 worlds. The species there were unpredictable, dangerous. They evolved in violence and chaos. They might be monsters. But what choice remained? The council leader looked at In. "If we send this message and if they respond, you understand the risk. We know nothing about them." "I understand," In said, "but my people are dying now. I will take any chance." The vote was close. Many abstained, but eventually the council agreed. They would send a message to they would beg for help from beings they had never met, from a world they feared to approach. The message was simple, a call for help, coordinates, an offer of knowledge in exchange for aid. No one expected a response. Far across the galaxy, Captain sat in the command chair of the exploration ship. His crew had been traveling for 3 months, mapping unknown space. Earth had only joined the stars 5 years ago, and every mission still felt like an adventure. "Captain," called from her science station, "we're receiving something strange." Stood and walked to her console. "Strange how?" "It's not human. The frequency is different. The encoding is mathematical but not our mathematics." She worked quickly, her fingers dancing across the controls. "It's repeating. I think it's a message." "Can you decode it?" "Give me 10 minutes." Watched as worked. The rest of the crew gathered around, curious. They had hoped to find other intelligent life. Earth had searched for so long. Now perhaps the search was over. "Got it," said. She put the message on the main screen. The words appeared in English, translated by the universal mathematical constants. A plea for help. A species facing extinction. A promise of knowledge and friendship. "They're asking us to fight," said from the engineering station. "They're asking strangers to fight their war. They're asking anyone who will listen," corrected, and were the ones who heard. Sara, the tactical officer, studied the coordinates. It's 3 weeks away at maximum speed. We'd be the first humans to make contact with aliens. If they're real, someone said. The signal is real, confirmed. And the desperation sounds real too. Looked at his crew, 35 men and women from all over Earth. Scientists, engineers, dreamers. They had left Earth to explore, not to fight. But they had also left Earth with a promise to represent humanity, to show the universe who humans were. I need a vote, said. This isn't a military ship, we're explorers. I won't order anyone into danger. Hands rose one by one. Every single crew member voted yes. Smiled. Then let's go meet our new friends, send a reply, tell them humanity is coming. As they turned toward the coordinates, none of them knew what waited ahead. They did not know about the Galactic Council. They did not know about Category 9 designation. They did not know that the Council had sent the message expecting monsters or silence. They only knew that someone needed help. And humanity had always been good at two things: surviving and helping others survive. They emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Council space, had expected many things: ancient ruins, hostile ships, perhaps nothing at all. He did not expect a welcoming committee of 50 alien vessels. Captain, we're being hailed, the communications officer said. On screen. The face that appeared was not human. Its crystalline features reflected light in strange patterns. His voice came through the translator, mechanical but understandable. Human vessel, we greet you. Please come aboard our station, we must speak. Glanced at Sara, who checked the tactical displays. No weapons locked on us. They seem peaceful. Let's not keep them waiting, said. The docking procedure was awkward. Human ships used different standards. But eventually, a small team made it aboard the station. The gravity was wrong, too light. Felt like he could jump to the ceiling with a small hop. Apologies, In said through a floating translation device. We did not know your species' requirements. Is this acceptable? We'll manage, said. Walking carefully, he followed into the council chamber. The sight took his breath away. Beings of every shape and size filled the room. Some floated. Some had too many limbs. One appeared to be made of living gas contained in a suit. They all stared at the humans. Forgive our reaction, the council leader said. We have never seen your kind before. You come from the world we designated Category 9. Stepped forward. What does that mean? It means your world should have killed you. The council leader gestured to a holographic display. Earth appeared, rotating slowly. Data scrolled past. Gravity 2.3 times galactic standard. Atmospheric pressure that would crush most species. Temperature variations that swing over 100 degrees. Radiation from a single star. Tectonic activity. Violent weather patterns. That's just Earth, said confused. It's normal for us. Normal, someone whispered in the crowd. They call it normal. In approached cautiously. May I scan you with your permission? Nodded. A beam of light passed over him. The results appeared on a screen and the entire council gasped. This cannot be correct, a member said. The bone density, the muscle fiber composition, the cardiovascular system. What's wrong? Sora asked. Nothing is wrong, the council leader said slowly. Everything is terrifying. Your bodies are designed for war. Look at the eyes forward-facing, predator configuration, the teeth omnivorous capable of tearing meat, the lung capacity built for endurance hunting. We don't hunt anymore, said. We farm, we build cities. But you could hunt, In said quietly. You evolved to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. Your species can run for days without stopping. Had wandered to the wall, examining the architecture. He placed his hand on what looked like a support beam, curious about the material. The beam cracked under his casual touch. Everyone froze. I'm sorry, said quickly. I didn't mean to, I just touched it. That beam is reinforced titanium composite, an engineer species stammered. Rated for 10,000 kilograms of force. How much force did he use? The council leader asked. The engineer checked his instruments. Approximately 300 kilograms, the equivalent of a firm handshake for his species. The aliens drew back, looked at his hand, then at, should we not touch things? Probably best, agreed. Tried to calm the situation. Look, we're not trying to frighten anyone, we're just people. Yes, Earth is a hard world. Yes, we're probably stronger than you expected, but we came to help, not to hurt. Your medical data, a council physician interrupted. It shows you have survived injuries, broken bones that healed, infections that your body fought off, radiation exposure that you barely noticed. Our immune systems are pretty good, admitted. Pretty good, the physician's voice rose. You have thousands of different antibody types. Your white blood cells actively hunt and destroy invaders. You can survive blood loss that would kill most species. You can heal damage that we would consider fatal. Sora spoke up, her tactical training making her understand their fear. You asked for help with a war. Now you're afraid we're too dangerous to trust. Silence fell. Finally, In spoke. My people are dying. Every day more fall to the, I am afraid. Yes, you come from a world of nightmares. Your bodies are weapons. Your planet forged you in fire and pain and death. But you also came when we called. You traveled weeks through space to help strangers. That means something. It means everything, said. Earth is hard. It made us strong. But it also made us understand suffering. We know what it's like to fight for survival. Every human carries memories of ancestors who struggled, who starved, who died so that we could live. We don't take life lightly. We don't take suffering lightly. He looked around at the assembled council. You call us, maybe we are. But we're also the ones who answered your call. We're the ones standing here ready to help. So you have a choice. Let us fight for you or watch your friends die while you wonder what could have been. The council leader studied for a long moment. Then he looked at In. How long until the reach your? 12 days, In said. And how many humans do you have? Our ship has 35 crew, said, but Earth can send more. Give us time. There is no time, In interrupted. 12 days, that's all we have. Thought of the army, thousands of soldiers, advanced weapons, against 35 explorers with no military training. Then he thought of Earth, of humans who climbed mountains just to stand on top, who crossed oceans in wooden boats, who looked at the stars and said, we will go there. If Earth made us this strong, he thought, maybe it's time we used it for something good. Then we'd better get started, said. The looked beautiful from orbit. Crystal spires rose from purple forests. Cities glowed with soft light, but smoke rose from the northern continent. They had already begun their assault. Stood in the briefing room with his crew. They had sent a message to Earth requesting military support, but reinforcements would take weeks. They had days. Intel shows 50,000 troops on the ground, Sora said, displaying tactical maps. They have armor, air support, heavy weapons. We have 35 people and whatever equipment we brought for exploration. What do they have? Asked. Nothing, In said quietly. He had joined them on the ship. We have police, not soldiers. We have never needed an army. Leaned back. So it's 50,000 against 35. Fantastic odds. We don't need to beat them, said. We just need to hold them until Earth sends help. Buy time. Make them think twice about this invasion. Sora pulled up data on the. They're larger than us, stronger than galactic standard. They conquered 12 worlds in the past century. Stronger than galactic standard, repeated. He was one of the ship's geologists, but he had military training from his years in Earth's special forces before joining the space program. But compared to humans, Sora checked the numbers. About 60% of human strength, less endurance. They breathe a nitrogen-rich atmosphere. Smiled. Then we have advantages they don't expect. The human team landed at night. They had set up a forward base in a valley between two mountains. Smoke and chemical weapons filled the air. They had retreated, unable to breathe in the toxic fog. The humans walked right through it. This is their idea of a bioweapon. Coughed a little but kept walking. I've breathed worse air in soul traffic. Led the squad forward. They moved silently, using the darkness. Most galactic species had poor night vision. They needed artificial light. Humans had evolved hunting at dawn and dusk. The darkness was a friend. They reached the perimeter of the camp. Guards stood watch, their weapons ready. They looked bored. Why wouldn't they be? The enemy had run away. Victory seemed certain. Signaled his team. They moved like ghosts. The first guard never knew what hit him. Strike was precise, non-lethal. The guard dropped, unconscious. The second guard turned, but Sora was already there. She moved with the efficiency of someone who had trained for years in combat. Within minutes, 12 guards were down. The humans had not fired a single shot. Plant the charges, whispered. They worked quickly. Explosives on supply dumps, disruptors on communication arrays. Then they vanished back into the darkness. The explosions lit up the night sky. The base erupted in chaos. Soldiers ran in every direction, shooting at shadows, but the humans were already gone. Over the next 3 days, the pattern repeated. They would advance. The humans would strike from nowhere. Supplies would disappear. Equipment would malfunction. Soldiers would vanish, found later unconscious but alive. The commander was furious. How many attackers are there? Unknown, sir. They strike at night. They move through our chemical barriers. Our sensors cannot track them. Send out patrols, find them. The patrols never returned. On the 4th day, they changed tactics. They sent their heavy armor forward, massive tanks that could level buildings. Nothing could stop them. Except the tanks began breaking down. Sand in the fuel systems, cut hydraulic lines, disabled targeting computers. Sabotage, the engineers reported. But we have guards, we have scanners. How are they getting through? The answer came that night. A guard saw movement. He raised his weapon, ready to fire. Then he saw them. Humans, 3 of them, walking casually through the base as if they owned it. Stop, he shouted. They did not stop. They did not even run. They just kept walking. He fired. The shot hit one of them in the shoulder. The human stumbled, looked down at the wound, and kept walking. The guard's blood went cold. What kind of being takes a plasma shot and keeps moving? Later would remove the bullet from that same human's shoulder. You're lucky, she said. Another inch and it would have hit bone. It did hit bone, the man said. I heard it crack. Check the scan. He was right. The bone had cracked, but he had kept walking, kept fighting, because that's what humans did. Pain was temporary. The mission mattered. By the 7th day, the army was in disarray. Half their supplies were gone. Their communication was spotty. Soldiers were exhausted from constant alert. They jumped at every shadow. The commander sent a message to his superiors. The enemy is not, I don't know what they are, but they don't fight like civilized beings. They attack at night. They endure wounds that should kill. They breathe poison. They break our equipment with their bare hands. The response was immediate. You have 50,000 troops, they have scouts. Overwhelm them. But how do you overwhelm an enemy you cannot find? An enemy that can go 3 days without sleep and still fight. An enemy that treats injury as an inconvenience. On the 8th day, they encountered full squad in direct combat. 20 humans against 500. The battle lasted 6 minutes. When it ended, they were retreating. They had superior numbers, better weapons, home terrain advantage. But humans had something else. Earth had trained them for 40,000 years. Earth had thrown everything at humanity. Ice ages, predators, diseases, famines. And humanity had survived. Every human in that squad carried the legacy of ancestors who refused to quit, who crawled through snow with broken legs, who fought infections without medicine, who looked at impossible odds and said, "Not today." The broadcasted a priority message to their empire that night. Retreat from the have allies, demons from a death planet, do not engage. I repeat, do not engage. When heard the recording, he smiled. Demons. The thought humans were demons. Maybe they were right. But demons or not, they were safe. In found after the fleet left orbit. Your people saved us. 200 of you defeated 50,000. 35, corrected. We only had 35. In's crystalline body dimmed in shock. 35, but the reports said the attacks were everywhere. We move fast, said simply. In was silent for a long moment. Then he said, the council will want to speak with you. They will be afraid of what you can do. Let them be afraid, said. Fear might teach them something useful. What will it teach them? That the universe is bigger and stranger than they thought, and that sometimes the scariest thing out there is on your side. The council chamber was packed. Representatives from 200 worlds had gathered for an emergency session. At the center stood and his crew, surrounded by curious and fearful eyes. Order, the council leader called. We will hear from Captain of the human species. But before could speak, a voice rang out. I move that we quarantine the human immediately. Murmurs of agreement spread through the chamber. Quarantine Earth, why? Asked, keeping his voice calm. A reptilian ambassador stood. Because your species is dangerous. You defeated an army with minimal forces. You fight in conditions that would kill our soldiers. You endure injuries that we consider fatal. What happens when there are millions of you? Billions. We're not planning to invade anyone, said. Plans change, another voice called. Species change. Power corrupts. We cannot risk the safety of the galaxy on your good intentions. In rose from his seat. The humans saved my people. They risked their lives for strangers. Today they saved you, the reptilian ambassador said. Tomorrow they might conquer you. Their world created killing machines. We must contain them before. Enough, his voice cut through the noise. She stepped forward, her data pad in hand. You want to talk about Earth? Let me tell you about Earth. The chamber fell silent, projected images above the council floor. Earth appeared, blue and green and beautiful. This is our world. Yes, it's a Category 9 hazard, but do you know why? She changed the image. This is Earth 20,000 years ago, covered in ice. Our ancestors survived with nothing but stone tools and fire. Another image. This is Earth during the asteroid impact 65 million years ago, the impact that killed the dinosaurs. Our mammal ancestors survived that. More images. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes, diseases that killed millions, predators that hunted us. Earth threw everything at humanity. She looked around the chamber. You want to know what kind of beings we are? We're the kind that looked at a world trying to kill us and said, we will not die. We're the kind that crossed oceans not knowing what was on the other side. We're the kind that looked at the stars and built rockets to reach them. That's exactly what frightens us, someone said quietly. Stepped forward. I understand your fear, I do, but fear without understanding is dangerous. Yes, Earth made us strong, but it also made us something else. He gestured to who had been quiet until now. Is our medic. During the battle she treated soldiers, enemy soldiers. She saved their lives. Why? A council member asked. They were trying to kill you. Because they were suffering, said simply. My oath is to reduce suffering, not just human suffering, all suffering. Continued. Earth taught us to survive, but surviving alone isn't enough. Humans are social. We form bonds. We help each other. We created laws, art, music, stories. We didn't conquer Earth through strength alone. We conquered it through cooperation. The diplomat who had joined them from Earth's first contact delegation spoke up. "The Council fears we will become conquerors. Let me offer you a different vision. Humanity has knowledge you need. We understand harsh environments, extreme conditions, survival scenarios. We can teach rescue operations in toxic atmospheres, emergency medical techniques, structural engineering for high-gravity worlds." "And what do you want in return?" the council leader asked. "Knowledge," said. "You have technology we don't. Faster ships, better energy systems, medical advancements. We propose an exchange. Human expertise in extreme situations for galactic knowledge." "You want us to make you stronger," someone accused. "We want to learn," said. He was a teacher before joining the contact mission. "Every species here has something to teach, something unique. Humans are good at surviving, but we're also good at adapting, at changing, at growing. Don't lock us away because you're afraid of what we might become. Work with us. Help us become something better." The debate raged for hours. Some wanted Earth quarantined, others saw opportunity. They spoke passionately for humanity. So did a few other species who had studied the battle reports and seen not just violence but precision, strategy, restraint. They could have killed every soldier, In pointed out. They didn't. They used non-lethal force whenever possible. These are not mindless killers. These are people who understand the value of life. Finally, the council leader called for a vote. The question before us: should humanity be granted probationary membership in the Galactic Council? The vote was close, but it passed. "Humanity will join the council," the leader announced. "With conditions. You will share your technology. You will allow inspections of your military capabilities. You will work with our ethics committee to ensure your actions align with galactic law." "We accept," said. As the session ended, various ambassadors approached the humans. Some were friendly, others were cautious, all were curious. But in the back of the chamber, an observer watched with cold eyes. The Empire had not sent representatives to the council. They had only sent spies. This spy now had a message to deliver, a message that would change everything. 3 weeks later, the message reached the High Command. "The humans have joined the council. They are being integrated into galactic society." The Emperor read the report. Then he read it again. His claws scraped against the metal desk. "Humans," he said slowly, "the who humiliated our forces." "Yes, Emperor. And the Council welcomes them. The Council fears them, but they convince them to give humans a chance." The Emperor stood. He was old. He had led the Empire for 50 years. He had conquered 12 worlds. Never had he been defeated. "Until humans. We cannot allow this," he said. "If humans integrate with the Council, they will become too powerful. They will learn our technology, our tactics. They will become unstoppable." "What are your orders, Emperor?" "Find this Earth. Gather our fleets. We will strike before they are ready. We will show the Council what happens to who challenge the Empire." "Emperor, our intelligence suggests Earth has billions of humans. If 35 could defeat our army." "Which is why we will not fight them on the ground," the Emperor roared. "We will strike from orbit. We will burn their world from space. We will turn Earth into ash and dust. And the Council will learn that some species are too dangerous to live." The spy bowed. "Yes, Emperor, I will relay your orders." As he left, the Emperor looked at the star maps. Earth was far, but not too far. In 3 months the fleet would arrive. And they would learn what it meant to face a true galactic power. The warning came 3 days before the fleet arrived. A merchant ship detected the massive armada and sent word to Earth. 2,000 warships, enough firepower to glass a planet. Jin stood in the command center deep beneath Seoul. She had been appointed Earth's defense coordinator when humanity joined the Council. Around her, screens showed the solar system, ships moving into position, weapons powering up, civilians evacuating to underground shelters. "Status report," she said calmly. lunar defense platforms online, Mars stations ready, asteroid belt cannons charging, orbital shields at 60%. Civilian evacuation. 90% complete, the rest refused to leave. Jin understood. When the threatened Earth, millions had volunteered to fight, not because they were soldiers, but because they were human. Earth was home. You didn't abandon home. His voice came through the communicator. Jin, we're 3 hours out. Did Earth receive our intelligence package? We did, thank you. Your information on fleet tactics has been very helpful. I wish we could be there with you. You are, Jin said. Every human who went to the stars, who made contact, who showed the galaxy what we are. You're all here. Now let us show them what Earth can do. The fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. The Emperor himself commanded from the flagship. He expected to see a primitive world, maybe a few orbital stations, easy targets. Instead, sensors showed a coordinated defense network that spanned the entire system. What is this? The Emperor demanded. Sir, they have fortifications on their moon, armed stations on Mars. The asteroid belt has been weaponized. They've had defenses ready for decades. The Emperor's blood ran cold. How did they know? We kept this secret. Sir, I think they didn't know about us specifically. I think they've been preparing for invasion since they developed spaceflight. It was true. Humanity had spent the Cold War preparing for nuclear annihilation. When that threat passed, they looked to the stars and thought, what if someone up there is hostile? What if we need to defend our home? So they built defenses, quietly, carefully, just in case. It doesn't matter, the Emperor said. We have 2,000 ships, they have a few stations, we will overwhelm them. The fleet advanced. Sat in her one of 500 pilots ready to launch. She was young, 23. She had trained her whole life for this moment. All fighters, this is command. They are entering weapons range. You are cleared to engage. Copy that command. Squadron leaders form up. Remember your training, remember what we're fighting for. The fighters launched like a swarm of angry bees. They were small, fast, built for maneuverability. The ships were huge, powerful, built for overwhelming force. But size wasn't everything. Squadron hit the left flank, missiles away. Then they scattered before return fire could target them. The ships were slow to turn, too big, too heavy. Another squadron hit from above, another from below. They tried to maintain formation, but human tactics were chaos, unpredictable, aggressive. They fight like insects, a captain complained, stinging and running. Return fire, destroy them. But for every human fighter destroyed, 3 more appeared, and the humans learned fast. Every attack was different. They adapted, changed tactics, found weaknesses. On the surface of the moon, massive opened fire. Projectiles launched at a fraction of light speed. No explosives, just kinetic energy. Chunks of metal moving so fast they punched through shields like they were paper. 3 destroyers died in the first volley. The Emperor was furious. How do primitives have this technology? Sir, they're not primitive. They've been in space for over a century. They've been preparing for this exact scenario. Then we will give them what they prepared for. The fleet unleashed everything. Energy weapons lit up the void, missiles by the thousands. The human defenses staggered under the assault. But they held. Then something unexpected happened. Ships emerged from faster-than-light travel behind the fleet. Not human ships, alien ships. The Galactic Council had arrived. In's voice broadcast on all frequencies. Empire, this is the Galactic Council. You are in violation of 57 treaties. Cease your attack immediately. The Council has no authority here, the Emperor shouted. We have every authority, In said calmly. You attack a council member without provocation. You threaten a world under our protection, and you do it with weapons banned by galactic law. Ban weapons. Jin asked from Earth's command center. Voice came through. She was on one of the Council ships. They're using planet-killer missiles, weapons designed to crack worlds open. The Council outlawed them 300 years ago. The Emperor realized his mistake too late. He had wanted to make an example of Earth. Instead, he had given the Council justification to act. The Council fleet wasn't large, maybe 500 ships, but they didn't need to win. They just needed to hold until the Emperor understood his position. The battle raged for 6 hours. Human fighters dodged and weaved. Council ships provided covering fire. Moon batteries kept up a steady barrage. They were taking heavy losses, not catastrophic, but enough to matter, enough to make the Emperor think. He had come to destroy Earth, but Earth was fighting back. Earth was winning. And if he lost this fleet, if the Council branded him a war criminal, the other empires would smell blood. They would attack territory. "Signal retreat," he said quietly. "Emperor." "Signal retreat. We have made our point." "What point, sir? We're losing." The Emperor had no answer. He had thought we're animals, beasts to be put down. Instead, they were warriors, they were strategists, they were survivors. And they had allies now. The fleet turned and jumped to faster than light. The battle was over. In Earth's command center, cheers erupted. Jin allowed herself a small smile. Then she opened a channel to all defense forces. "Well done, everyone. Stand down to alert status 2. Medical teams begin recovery operations. Repair crews start damage assessments." Landed her fighter with shaking hands. She had survived. Earth had survived. Looking up at the stars, she saw the Council ship still in orbit, protecting, helping. Maybe the galaxy wasn't so scary after all. 5 years passed. Stood on the Council floor, no longer as a visitor but as Earth's permanent representative. Around him sat ambassadors from hundreds of worlds. Some still feared humanity. Others had become friends. The Empire had signed a peace treaty, not because they wanted to, but because every species in the Council now knew what would happen if they threatened humanity had spread across the stars, not as conquerors, as explorers, as teachers, as rescuers. When a mining colony got trapped in a collapsed asteroid, it was humans who crawled through spaces too small for other species. When a plague hit a water world, it was human doctors who developed a cure using Earth's vast database of survived diseases. When a science station malfunctioned on a high-gravity world, it was human engineers who could work in the crushing pressure. Ran a training academy now, teaching aliens how to survive in extreme conditions, how to endure, how to adapt. Worked at the Council's largest hospital, treating species from 1,000 worlds, sharing human medical knowledge. Led joint research projects, combining human innovation with alien technology. They were all still stronger, tougher, more durable than most species they met. But they were also friends, teachers, protectors. Stood before a classroom of young aliens. He told them about Earth, about ice ages and plagues and predators, about how humanity survived not through strength alone but through cooperation, through stubborn refusal to give up, through hope. "Our world tried to kill us," he said, "and it made us strong, but it also made us understand something important." A young student raised a tentacle. "What did it teach you?" Smiled. "That strength without compassion is just violence. That survival without purpose is just existence. Earth gave us power, but we chose what to do with it. We chose to help. We chose to build. We chose to reach for the stars, not to conquer them, but to meet whoever else was looking up." On Earth, in 1,000 cities, lights blazed against the night. Humans looked up at the stars. Some would travel there tomorrow. Some would stay home and build. Some would teach. Some would explore. But all of them carried the legacy of a world that forged them in fire and made them strong. And they used that strength to bring hope to a galaxy that had forgotten how to fight for itself. The message on every human ship, translated into every galactic language, read the same. Born in fire, we bring hope. And the galaxy learned that the scariest thing from a wasn't the strength, or the endurance, or the refusal to quit. It was the compassion, the choice to use all that power to help instead of hurt. That was what made humans truly terrifying and truly wonderful.